And good evening, fellow retro commanders, and welcome back to the Archimedes Elite stream. I've yet to have the official email for Twitch saying that we are the #1 Archimedes Elite Twitch stream on the entirety of Twitch, but I imagine it's only a matter of time. That's the only way I can win an award nowadays for anything, is to make sure I'm the only entry in the category. And even then, I've yet to win. But there we go. Did I survive the storm? Yes, we're still here. We have a bit of damage, actually, but we'll come to that. We'll come to that. Before we do any of that, of course, I'd still come last. No, actually, it'd be worse than waiting to beat Beauty. I'd come in 4th or something like that. It's like, what's going on? Anyway, let's do the thing, because the thing is the thing, and the thing must be done. Who do we have first in the chat this evening? According to this is most amazing. It's the Harkonnens. I don't think they've ever been first in the chat before. So, all praise to the Harkonnens. Poised, first in the chat, and ready to invade Arrakis. As ever, it's good to see you. Lumpsace is here as well. Good to see you. Good evening. The Arrakises are there. Poised as ever to fend off the invasions of the Harkonnens. Or third in the chat as well. So there's clearly, in the worlds of June, there's much activity going on. Grondian is here as well. Good to see you, Grondian. Gronda. Eridan Dundragon is done dragoning for the day and is here with us this evening. Always good to see you. Slater USA is saying good morning from SF, which I assume is San Francisco. So wow, that's pretty darn keen. Is that yesterday afternoon or? It's good. Oh, it's morning, right? Okay, yeah, fair enough. It's evening here in Scotland. Although it's still sunny. Well, it is sunny now because the clouds have been ripped to shreds by the intense wind. But there we go. But anyway, welcome to you, Slater USA. Top Shot is here, being top as usual. In fact, he's not top, but he's quite a long way down the chat. But we'll gloss over that. How are you doing, my friend? How are you doing? Good to see you. Enigma-ish is still being Enigma-ish as well. So good to see you. Sleepy Wagon Man is wide awake and. And it's with us this evening. Bullet05 is here as well. Wintermute GB. I mean, it's just way down the list, my friend. What's up with you today? Wintermute GB. Of course, he's here, but only just, I would say. Sidejafode5 is here as well. Good to see you. Andy P783, which does rhyme. Very important to mention that. Steve IMD is here as well. Good to see you. Buffo, how many 9s is that? Too many 9s. Oi, Sasnak, he says. Do I count as a Sasnak? Is that I thought that was just for ladies. Is it not? Is it a generic term? I'm not sure, actually. I will be advised. Somebody will advise me. Yes, sorry. Blue Danube. Blue Danube, of course, was the docking music in some versions of original. I think, actually, possibly only the Commodore 64. Can anybody verify that one? Because I don't know if the Archimedes version implements it yet. Because of course. We haven't got as much money to buy a docking computer. Docking computers are expensive, aren't they? So we'll investigate that. I mean, Zarathustra, of course, is definitely 2001: The Space Odyssey, but not really associated with Elite. I don't think the Blue Danube is the one that is the piece of music I associate with Elite, which also, of course, did feature in 2001 because of the docking sequence with the little space plane, the Pan Am space plane, of course, which shows how much of an alternative future 2001 became even before it got to the screen. Well, there we go. And why haven't we got spinning space stations and space planes? I mean, by 2001, what have we been doing? Got totally sidetracked by the iPhone and all that sort of stuff. We didn't invest enough money in space stations. It's a perennial disappointment to me. The future that I live in now is not the one I expected to be living in the 1980s. No paper bags, says Enigma-ish. No bagpipes. Alas, I mean, would I inflict that on you? Would I insult and take the memory of Johann Strauss Jr. by? Yeah, I would, wouldn't I? Yeah. Okay, sorry. Let's not even go there. Says Wintermute GB in the moment of great wisdom. Commander Archangel is here as well. Good to see you. Cyber Army is here. The Kazakh is here. First time chat from Derail Commander Zirab. 07 Commanders, good to see you. Commander Tragic Blue 21 is here as well. Frozl is here as well. Some of you really need to work on your usernames so I can actually pronounce them. Felix Lester is here as well. Aero Dion is here. That's nice. I like Aero Dion. That sounds like a thrash metal band to me. Tonight, my friends, we have Aero Dion on stage. Excellent. Kifri Band is here as well. Good to see you. Oh, so Amiga Elite also had the Blue Danube. Okay, Commander Andreu Anari says the NES version also had Blue Danube as a document. There you go. So there's a bit of previous. I wonder if the Archimedes version does as well. Also on the Amstrad, says Tragic Blue 21. Okay, Steve Tyson says docking computers are for babies. Manual docking is what men do. It was a Pan Am Clipper, wasn't it? You're quite right, Wikipedia. There we go. Andy P says the C64 version has its own intro music for the main menu. Did it? I don't think I've ever played the C64 version. The Gronda Varg is here as well. Gronda. There's two kind of Gronda people in the chat now. This is getting confusing. I pronounce it better than most. It's always fun to see how people interpret it, but it's a nonsense word, and that's the point. Okay, fair enough. Gronda, good to see you. Anyway, right, well, that's enough of that. We're all here. Fantastic. So, only a brief waffle because, I mean, I need to get on and earn some credits in this insanely hard version of Elite. Now, I have played the Spectrum version all the way through to Elite, as you well know, and I've got a fair old distance on the BBC version of Elite. I don't think I've come across a version of Elite that's so darn difficult as this one. This one is quite brutal, as you saw probably from last week. So, I'm going to do my best, but I am a middle-aged man now, and I'm slowing down. So my reflexes aren't quite what they once were, and I'm not sure I'm playing this game in the best. I have struggled. Yeah, I know, excuses. It's like racing driver excuses. There was a misfire, but there was. I've tried to get the joystick working with the emulator, but it doesn't work. No matter what I do, it just doesn't respond. So I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong, or whether Elite the game on the Archimedes ever actually worked with a joystick or not. Fake gamer, yeah. To be fair, my gaming credentials are the only game I can actually remember ever completing was Manic Miner. On the Trustees ZX Spectrum, which of course won't mean that much to players from the States, but there we go. Yeah, so I don't know if Acorn Archimedes Elite is actually even supposed to work with a joystick or not. I had thought it does, but I've set it up as far as I can tell. The emulator is recognising my trusty Thrustmaster, but it just doesn't seem to respond to it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. But anyway, yes, as has been pointed out, we did survive. We've had a big storm, actually quite a significant storm called Flossie or something. Flores. No, Flores is a place up here. Must be Flores or Flossie. Anyway, this stupidly named storm has come. It's actually done some damage. We had a tree down on the road, which fortunately some brave men in high-vis jackets came and dealt with quite quickly. There was a brief fluctuation to the power supply, but that didn't affect us too badly. But I've actually got some damage. I've got a bit of a tree down, which I'm going to have to sort out tomorrow or the day after when the weather's nice, and just various debris everywhere. So apparently we had a gust of up to 80 miles an hour here, and not that far away up in the mountains there was one at 90 miles an hour, which is actually you're going to notice that. So it's done. It's come through and done quite a bit of damage. There are, but yeah, I guess you say there's some people with power outage across here. So it was an unusual storm to get in August. We do get kind of autumn-winter storms normally, but we don't normally get them in August, apparently, because this is still my first year of living in Scotland, so I'm just sort of observing everything and sort of seeing what goes on. But yeah, this is the worst one that we've had so far. It wasn't scary, but it was kind of like it was rattling the windows, you know. You could see panes of glass going, which was kind of like, I haven't seen that before. That's interesting. So yes, a little bit disconcerting, but yeah, we're okay. We're fine. We're here. We're good. We are still able to stream. Yeah, the important stuff is happening, so that's all good. Right. Well, last week I was accused of waffling for far too long. Right. So I'm half-minded to keep waffling for as long as possible tonight, but I won't. We'll get on and play the game. Come on, Drew. That's what these poor deluded souls are here for, is to watch me fail on upwards playing risky Elite Archimedes. So we had quite a nice chat last time about the Archimedes itself, and I hadn't realised quite how sophisticated the machine it was for the era, because I kind of in my head, because slight aside, you will be unsurprised to know, I kind of missed out on this era of computing a bit because I went to university in 1988, and I think I took my ZX Spectrum with me, just because that was the only computer I had at the time, and I think I did a little bit of work on the Spectrum, but the problem with the Spectrum is it was using cassettes, and you couldn't take a cassette into university and put it into anything other than another Spectrum. So it wasn't a particularly useful computer. I did do a little bit of word processing on my Spectrum. I think, was there a word processor called TazWord or TazWord 2 or something like that for the Spectrum? I vaguely remember having that. And I think I had some text files in that which I was able to port to my Unix system at university. But then I just used that, because it had Vi, and I'd learnt Vi by this point. Who remembers Vi? Calling that a word processor is a bit generous. I think it's just a text editor. But and this was before the days of any kind of WYSIWYG stuff. But I was doing all code basically at university, pretty much nothing else. And I learnt 68,000 assembly and various other bits. And yeah, exactly. Clopshot, those commands. I still remember them. Yep. Escape, : write and quit. That's it. NX was all a bit sophisticated, so I think it was TazWord 2 on the Spectrum, but anyway, something along those lines. So, and I remember my kind of compadres at university, a handful of which I'm still in touch with occasionally. Some of them had Amigas and some of them had STs. A handful had PCs, and one guy, literally one person, had an Acorn Archimedes. And I think I mentioned last week, he was utterly insufferable about it because he said it was the best machine ever. And I was quite surprised doing the research for my stream last week that actually he was correct. Acorn Archimedes was, in many, many ways, way more advanced than the other machines of the era. I think the Amiga kind of needs an honourable mention, doesn't it? Because it's got all those snazzy little extra custom chips which have funky names like Paula and stuff like that, and it has a blitter and as other technical stuff. So but yeah, that leads. The Acorn Archimedes was a fantastic machine which sadly didn't seem to go very far. It's I don't even remember seeing one. I vaguely remember them. And I suppose really the Atari ST and the Commodore Amiga ended up being sort of dead ends as well. They didn't last very long once the PC kind of started getting some traction. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a shame because this era of computing is quite interesting actually, with these sort of nascent GUIs that you've kind of got on the screen here and stuff. But alas, it seems that the IBM PC just everybody went that way, and that's Spectrums went much further because they're easier to throw. The RISC-sys discussion is nothing compared to Vi and Emacs. Vi is Emacs than anything I ever used, so I'm a Vi man. Because that's it. I can still remember it even now. I mean, that's scary, isn't it? I for insert, yeah. Double D for delete, yeah. That's all good. Anyway, we're here to play some Elite. So let us load up the disk and see if our save file worked. I'm hoping that did. So with a bit of luck, we should be able to. We'll get some lovely disk drive sounds here. This is nice. I love the way the emulator is emulating the. It sounds really good. I don't know if that's genuinely actually emulating a thing, but there we go. Right, so we should be able to load up the save game squirrel here, which is of course my commander name de jour. Ed is the original Unix text editor. You're quite right, Latty. You're quite right. Vi is the sort of super easy to use version of Ed, isn't it? For any of those people on the stream who have never tried Vi, to be honest, I wouldn't recommend it nowadays. Right, let's get to Commander Squirrel. What's going on here? Right, so did it load? Hopefully it did. Yes, look at that. We've got 178 credits. We can retire and give up this life of crime. Right, so we left. In last week's exciting episode, Drew had completed a milk run, I think. Or maybe 2 milk runs successfully, and not been obliterated. We have not managed to buy anything yet. We've still got our front pulse laser. Looking at the equipment list, I'm wondering what my sort of first priority would be. I'm thinking that maybe an ECM system might be a good bet, because it does seem to be a little bit of a death sentence. I was reading a little bit. I might want to refuel. Yeah, that's not a bad call. Yeah, let's do that. Oh no, how do I do that? How do I actually? I've forgotten how to do this. Is it? Oh, there we go. It's a bit weird. This, you select with the left button, and then you activate it with the right button, which is very non-Windows, but it's just how this works. Yeah, and we have got funky little extra features in this version of Elite, with little graphics telling us what's going on. But looking at this list, I mean, I'd like a docking computer, because docking is difficult. But I'm wondering if the ECM system might be a good purchase. But that's some way off at 600 credits. We need to do that. I don't know. I mean, in the Spectrum version of Elite, you see, because all the versions of Elite are subtly different. The docking wasn't very difficult in the Spectrum version, so I never usually bothered with it. It was only a bit of a time saver, so I had to give the offensive weaponry. But I think, yeah, so there's that large cargo bay as well that allows us to carry more stuff. We just got to be a bit careful of the cash flow, because if you get things too early, you haven't got enough cash to fill up the cargo bay. Was I able to sell the missiles? No, you can't. I don't think you can sell them, which is a shame. You can't sell the missiles. Which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, so let us. Where are we? In Decent. We're going to Leasty. So I'm thinking we're still food and stuff. Middle click missiles onto item. No, see, I've tried that. It doesn't do anything. I think this is common with all versions of Elite. Once you've got a piece of equipment, you can't sell it, you can only replace it, and since there's nothing to replace the missile with, then I don't think you can do anything. I'll have to donate the missile, donate the missiles. Under item, where's that? Under item, there? No, nothing happens. Oh, I've just bought another one. That was a mistake. I could buy them. I didn't want to do that. Right, actually, in that case, I'm going to try and reload the save, because I don't want to buy an extra missile, because I need the cash. Let's hope it didn't. Let's quit. Let's hope it doesn't auto-save that. Docking is easy, but crashing, no, that's like, yeah, so anyway. Right, so let's hope that didn't auto-save. Did it auto-save? It didn't. Excellent, that's good. Right, because I don't want to buy any more missiles. Apparently there is no ident computer on that. I'm sure there was a version of Elite that did have an ident computer, or maybe I'm thinking of Olite. There is, the other thing I did in my research is there at least there was a save game editor for this game, and also a kind of mod pack for it, which allowed you to have an ident computer in this version of Elite. Unfortunately, maybe this might be one for you guys to see if you can hunt them down, because I had a quick, well, I had a reasonable look actually, about half an hour or so, trying to find said files, but all the websites that reference them now seem to be offline, sort of have basically rotted away with age of the internet. Yeah, there is a rent-a-dock facility we need to investigate, but that's incredibly expensive. We'll avoid that one for the time being. Anyway, let's get some fuel. That's that. Right, we're going to fill it up with food. There we go. And we'll fill up with textiles because there we go, we've got a galaxy full of home. We're going to go back to Leasty because it's safe-ish and hope for the best. Alright, off we go. Just press I and then get your top. Yeah, so it doesn't. The I doesn't do anything on this version. So I don't know why. And I have to remember to. So yeah, so I don't know. Maybe some versions of Archimedes Elite had this mod pack in them, but I think this version I've got here, this vanilla version, maybe just doesn't, because I does not do anything. We do need to investigate that moon at some point. Actually, I'm going to do that now. Let's just fly forward and see if we can hit the moon. Because why not? Because science, right? I think it's supposed to be a moon. Yeah. Oh. I think I just took a moon to the side of my ship. Okay, so you can crash into the moon. I think we need to watch that from the side window. What do you think? Let's just, because I'm going to have to do that again anyway. Let's just try that, because that was quite exciting. Right. So there's the moon. Right. So we're going to let's let the moon go past the first time. What's this? Which is left view? There's rear view. There's left, right. Okay. We should see it go past one more time in front of us. I would hope. There it is. Right, so the next time I think we're going to hit it. Oh, no, you don't even see it, you just die. Okay, interesting. So there are some navigation hazards in this version of Elite. Yeah, so the original version did not have moons. No, this is the only version of Elite I've seen moons in. So that's a thing. They're extremely high speed moons, and extremely dangerous. Do not get a moon in your face. Okay. Crashing. Who'd have thought crashing into the moon would be dangerous? But there we go. Right. Okay. Let's do this properly. We're going to go off to Leasty. So anyway, we've done a bit of science. I used to be an adventurer, then I took the moon to the knee. That's exactly it. Right, off to the Leasty we go. I like this sort of. Boom! So the extra gameplay of the moons is another way to die. It's like that hyperdrive. It sounds like a clock that's being wound up. Dear. So look, so that here we are at some distance. We can see the sun and we can see the moon. Now I'm curious. That moon is actually kind of in an orbit, isn't it? Now I am curious to know whether or not if I fly at right angles to the moon for a bit, will it? So that's going to be about there. Let's get the right view, see if I can see the sun. Have I got the angle right? No. Right, there it is again. Let me put that at, oh, at it. Using the space compass. Right, there we go. There we go. Right, I'm flying at right angles to the planet now. I'm going to engage the jump drive and see if the moon crosses the orbital plane of the planet at all. Does it model anything along those lines? Let's just see. Those moons orbit absurdly fast. They do. Any spaceship can land on the moon at least once. So I was just curious to see if that moon is actually orbiting, or it's just is literally just like a sprite that's kind of being animated it's looking like it's a sprite. So no matter which direction I approach the planet from, it's always going to look the same, which is a bit of a shame actually. I was kind of expecting a bit more, but there we go. And it's great to see you again. Hope you're well. Good to see you as well, Castor87. Is this an official version? Yes, this is an official version of Elite. So yes, it's not like a fan-made remake. This is one that was sold. It's been said to have been the best version of the original. That is not going to do anything, is it? So let's go and approach the planet. So we've done a little bit of science there. It turns out that no, it doesn't matter which direction we approach the planet from, we still get the same. Ooh. Now there was a bit of discussion last week as to whether or not in this version of Elite the universe is coded differently to the other versions, whereby you're the centre of the action and the universe revolves around you, which is the game engine that the rest of the Elites use. I may have been incorrect. I may have been giving this version a little bit too much in the way of hype, in the sense that it's kind of like it's got something like a persistent universe around it. It seems that it hasn't got a persistent universe, and it's probably coded in much the same way. So the additional features are kind of pre-scripted little events, so that the Vipers rock up and fly in formation, and pirates and miners appear on the edge of a scanner and then start doing things, but they kind of instantaneously spawn at that point in time. So we could possibly test that, because I know on all the other versions of the, if we come into space, here's a ship for example, so if we get that on the screen, let's just throttle down and get it in front of us. There it is there. If we let it disappear off the scanner, it's gone. Right, now we try and catch it up. I think we'll find, oh no, is that the same ship? There's a green dot. Is that the same ship? Because that sort of implies it didn't just spawn and then despawn, unless that was a coincidence. Might have been. I wonder if it was. Did it look different? Yes, that looks like a different type of ship, doesn't it? So maybe that was just a lucky happenstance. So the idea basically, once it's off the edge of your scanner, it's effectively gone. It's despawned, and then it will just spawn whatever next to come along. So I don't know. I'll have to keep an eye on that one. But yeah, no, the I button doesn't work. I can dock a missile, and I can unarm a missile. There doesn't seem to be much else going on. The moon is now getting bigger. The moon just seems to go round the outside. It does eclipse the sun, which is quite nice. At least that happens. It didn't despawn, it just went to hyperspace. Of course it did. That's exactly what it did. Yes. Let's keep it all in the law. Oh, hello. What's going on here? Are these bad guys? Yes. Oh, they don't mess about, these pirates. There seems to be an awful lot of pirates in what is safe systems. That's all I can say. Yeah, this is not going well. Oh, see how brutal this game is? It's just insanely difficult. If you get one bad encounter, you've had it. Didn't even launch a missile there. And that's in least, that's a corporate system. It's supposed to be safe. These are supposed to be milk runs. You're not, I don't think encountering 3 pirates all together right at the beginning of the game is it's all that good gameplay. It's not really easing you into the game because Leasty is a corporate state. Okay, that's supposed to be the it's supposed to be the easiest one. Just winding up the hyperdrive. Strange sound. The sound is actually a bit weak. Considering I think the sound on the BBC version from all those years ago was actually quite good. This feels a bit naff, really. So I'm a bit surprised by the sound being a bit weak. But I don't know much about the Acorn Archimedes sound capabilities. Were there any? Did it have anything much in terms of sound capabilities? Yeah, so it might be what try. Yeah, the C64 was definitely bad. I mean, the Spectrum was obviously pretty bad, but even the Spectrum had a few little things that this doesn't. It had little on-target sound effects, and so the moon does go sort of behind the planet there. That was quite good. So this time we got into system space with no difficulty at all. There's the space station. I've only, of course, the NES one is a little bit more tricky to play because it's a console rather than a computer, so you can't really work the keyboard very well. But yeah, that one's quite good as well. Have we seen what an Anarchy system is like? No, haven't dared do that yet. We would instantly die, I'm sure. I mean, we instantly die in corporate systems at the moment, so I think an Anarchy system might be asking a bit much. So there's the space station growing nicely in front of us. These ones I think are a little bit more tricky to dock at, so I'm going to try and be as careful as possible here. Oh, there's the entrance there. Okay, so let's just let that run overhead. Straight towards the planet is the way to do it. Turn about, we should be almost lined up. Not bad. That looks pretty good. I don't like these Coriolis or dodecahedron stations as much. That looked very unstable, but it worked. Yeah, we'll do some shooting of space stations. I just want to try and get a bit of cash. Ah, no! What did I do? I pressed the wrong button. No! Nightmare, now I've got to turn around and do it all again. Success! Drew just wrested success from the jaws of failure. No, was it? Wresting defeat from the jaws of victory, something like that. Now I've got to do it all over again. Here we go. We're going to be fine. It's not, as long as I get this right, it's not outrageously. It sort of sits there for a moment. It's a bit weird. Yes, you can go. There's no docking request mechanism. At least I don't think there is. Let's sell. So we get a bit of money. We're not making very much money. We're making a few paltry gets. Oh, we're up to 226. There we go. Right, let's refuel as well because spaceship fuel. Then we're going to save the game by doing that. Yep. Because I don't trust this guy. I'm going to save every time. Save every time I make any progress whatsoever. Right, now we can go back to DSO carrying more computers, can't we? Because computers make us a bit of money. We could try narcotics, but then of course we'd be instantly obliterated. Now at the moment I think we can. We still can't buy much. We can buy 3 tons of computers, and I think we have 4.3 credits left, so we bought 3 tons of computers. Okay. We're going to go back to DSO. And then once again, narcotics are cheap. So is death. So is life. Sorry. Right. Wind up the hyperdrive again. That's a weird sound. There we go. Right, we're back at DSO. Any suggestions for trade routes, by the way? Do let me have them, because we need to make some cash. Oh, this isn't good news. Oh no, it's the police. It's the fuzz. Look. So there is now. Okay, we can probably test this now. Let's let the police wander off into the distance. There they go. They're disappearing off the scanner, and then they disappear off the screen. Are they still there? Something's still mass locking out. No, look, they do come back. That is interesting. They do come back. So either they're not entirely off the screen. Ooh, so that was the same set of ships. Let's try that again. Let's leave it a little bit longer. So that's no, those are definitely police ships. They were Vipers. So they're all going to disappear off the screen. They've definitely gone, right? I'm going to give them a few seconds. Presumably they're in the same location. Let's speed up now and let's try jump driving them. Oh, so now this time they have. Whoa! That time they had gone. So it's like they despawn a little bit out of sensor range. So that's another thing. Look, this is another thing you'll find with this version of Elite is that trading ships will fly around with escorts, which is quite nice. That's a I don't know, a boa or something, and they're flying, you know, with 3 sidewinders in escort, which is nice. It makes the game feel that little bit more lived in, as opposed to the other versions of Elite. I mean, it's still. I mean, obviously we're kind of used to Elite Dangerous and stuff now, where there's like endless sophistication. But for this era of gaming, that's pretty big stuff. So there's more. Don't know what they were. They're off the scanner already. There's more again. DSO seems to be. That's just the mass lock thing. Okay, so Eridine says I always did Qtiri and computers to Eisnor and furs back to Qtiri. Okay, well we might try that one. That sounds like quite a good run, because furs are quite a decent value, aren't they? Okay, well, there's more ships doing their thing. Oh, these ones are definitely pirates because they're coming in from in front of you. I think. Or maybe they're not. What's going on here? Oh no, these are miners. Look, miners doing miney things. That's quite neat as well. So it's little features like that which make this version of Elite a bit more interesting than most, because sort of stuff's happening without you being around, which I like. I like the idea that the game is doing things. You know, when you're not present. These two are baddies. Right, there's only 2 of them though this time, so they might have a chance. Uh-oh, somebody else will join the party. Oh, somebody fired an ECM. Oh, somebody else, what was that? Somebody else shot that guy down. What was that? Who was that? Was that the police? It was! Look, the police came and helped me out. Nice! That's good! See? Whoa, whatever that was. Someone was shooting me a lot there. I'll let the police deal with him. That's quite handy that the police are out there doing things. Right, I'm going to do the classic Elite thing actually and just hang around for a moment while my energy banks recharge. Because as you can see, I got totally hammered at the end there. So yeah, as an early version, I mean a late version of the original Elite really, because this is what was the beginning date? 1991? It's only 2 years before Frontier Elite 2 itself came out, which was available on this era of computers as well. So, you know, Elite is right at the end of its life cycle, and Frontier Elite 2 is about to come out, which is obviously a totally and utterly different game. Yeah, it's quite sophisticated for what it's implemented. This is a David Braben and Ian Bell approved version of Elite, but they didn't actually write it. So some other guys wrote this. Look, the moon's now going behind the planet. Does it go in front of it as well? Or is that... So it's got a sort of orbit, hasn't it? It's weird. Yeah, you're quite right, Eridan. The moon is going behind the planet. Maybe it's not just a sprite. Yeah, I don't know how that's being implemented. I don't even know if the Archimedes had sprites. It's a shame they made it so fast. I mean, if they made that about the 10th of the speed, you'd still see it moving and it would still be ridiculously fast. But it would feel a bit more gamey, wouldn't it? I mean, it feels like so fast now. It looks ridiculously artificial. But if you slowed it down a bit... no, I don't think it had hardware sprites. I think you're right. Yeah, Meter Round Hollow, that's it. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that, isn't it? Who knew? It's not much sound though. It ought to be a little bit. I don't know. I suppose we're very used to games nowadays having sound virtually all the time. Oh, there's another ship coming in. Don't hit me. Oh, I've done that quite well. Look. Let's just do a little bit of adjustment. It's so annoying not having your control. That doesn't look good actually. I think we're going to try that again. Oh, that idiot rammed me. Stupid fool. Now we know Meter Round is not. It's not a bug. It's a reference to this version of Elite. Right. Here we go. Here we go. Right. Come on, Drew. Don't let the side down now. This is the most stressful part. This is like, it's going to work. Yes. Right. I wish they wouldn't have the launch button, so there should be a little spacer here. Right, let's sell. Look at that, 279 credits. Wow. Right, where are we going? You said Eisenal. Where is that? Eisenal Kutiri. Where are they? Let's have a look at the galaxy map. Is there a searchable? Where are Eisenal and Kutiri? It's Quator. I do remember these names. Eisenal's there. Right. Okay. So we're going to have to take a jump across. That means we can go to T and Isla on the way. Okay. So we're going to Eisenal. Where's Kutiri? Is it up there? Okay. Actually, we can go to Kutiri first. So, just looking at what the thing was. What do we take to Kutiri, computers to Eisenal and furs back to... Okay, so we want to take furs to Kutiri and computers to Eisenal. So have we got cheapish furs here, maybe? Let's have a look. We can take those to Kutiri. Furs. Okay, there's 60 credits here. I don't know if that's good or bad. Does anybody know if 60 credits is reasonable for furs here at DSO? Because of course we can't tell what the price is at the remote destination, which is a nice little bit of gaming. Does anybody know? I'm gonna meanwhile just fill up with fuel while we're here. Okay, it's dangerous as hell though. So I need I still need a milk run because my ship is basically defenseless at the moment. So what do you reckon? Should I still keep doing this milk run here for a bit, Yeah, I will save once I've got the ship there. Do I go to the Eisenhower and let's look about, let's find out what type of places they are, because we can. Qtiri is data. Let's find out. Qtiri is rich industrial multi-governments. That's medium danger. And Eisenhower is a confederacy, which is kind of okay. Yeah, so neither of those are great, are they? Well, I mean, I might get lucky. I doubt. I tell you what. Let's do a little bit more local trading here. What about Reort? That's a dictatorship. Corporate state. That's a poor agricultural corporate state, though. That's not bad. And what we've got, Listi is, trouble is that can be out of range of there, isn't it? So Listi is poor industrial. Rurve is mainly industrial feudal state. We're not going there. Lave we know is a dictatorship as well. That's actually surprisingly dangerous. Rich agricultural, of course. And Deso is, what is Deso? Average agricultural democracy. So it's still the safest option, I think. Now, slimy frogs. Yeah, I know. So it sounds about right. Okay, so do I take a risk and go across to Eisenhower and Qtiri and try and make a fast buck, or will I die a horrible death? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Let's buy furs. This feels like the Oregon Trail now. Was it the Oregon Trail? I don't know. How do you pronounce it? Is that? It's interesting actually, because that's the game Americans refer to from this area. What did you play? Oh, it was the Oregon Trail. Whereas I don't think many of us in the UK played that game. I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever played it. Fewer commanders die of dysentery. Yeah. So right, we need to move. We need to head our way across. We're going to have to go to Lave first. So this is going to be a dangerous trip actually. It's pronounced Oregon, is it Oregon? Is that how you pronounce it? Or Oregon, or Oregon. Oregon. Okay, Oregon Trail. All right. Well, we're going to see if we can get our way across there. Oregon Trail, right? Okay, sort of. Well, as well as an English person can, right? Let's go to Lave because that will be safe. Now the problem is because I haven't got a fuel scoop, have I? So I can't refuel at the sun. So in order to get there, I'm going to have to get to Lave Station. So this might already kill me because it's a long way to Lave. Are those bad guys? They don't always attack you straight away. This is what's a little bit. Let's just ask about. I've got a safe. I've got this. Did I say? I've got a feeling I didn't save. Oops. After all that. Yay! No, I don't think we did. Hey, we'll be fine. It's not going to be an issue. The game doesn't know that we didn't save, does it? Come on. This is a piece of gameplay from the original. It's really ages. The ships hang around for ages at the end of your mast lock and just make you bored. Come on. There it is, finally. There's still something out there. Come to the scan, did not. There we go. There's the Viper patrol again. It's fine. Yeah, all is good. Yeah, they stay with you a little bit longer than visual range. Oh, this isn't good. Whoa, adders, I think. These guys have got missiles. That's bad news. Actually, that's not an adder. What's that? Oh, now I'm in trouble. Here we are. They used a missile. It's the only way to defend yourself, actually. Right, I can try and keep a missile on in case somebody else fires a missile at me. I do like the way little bits of hull fragments. I think that actually allows me to stay alive. Oh, no, it's all going wrong. Oh, I got one. Like I said, this game is really brutal. I think I'll stick to my. I think I'm going to stick. Yeah, I know. I'm going to stick to my local run for the time being. I just don't think I can get across town easily enough until I've got some kind of upgrades on my ship. Right, or at least these still. So let's buy a bunch of. Oh, I didn't save it the other time. Oh no, that was bad. So I wasted the whole trip. Oops. If I try and don't gun, yeah. Every time I've tried to run though, they catch up and kill you. So yeah, that hasn't really helped me either. We're going back to DSO. Okay, let's try that again. I'm just going to concentrate on making some money. I think I need an ECM at the very least. Whoa, why is it spinning around like a loon? There we go. Yeah, I can't get this emulator to work with a joypad. I've got one here. I've got like a simple one here, but not that you can see that because of the green screen effect. But I can't get it to work with the emulator. So I don't know what's going on there. The keys are familiar-ish to me because they are actually the same as the ZX Spectrum ones. So my muscle memory is actually working reasonably well. I don't know why the countdown's up there. I've got a feeling most versions of Elite had it up there actually. Right, we managed to get to the space station. Okay, so that's good news. So at least DSO is friendly. I'm not sure. I mean, does anybody? I mean, again, you have to go back in time to somebody who actually had an Acorn Archimedes. Did this version of Elite have joystick support? I'm not even sure that. Yeah, maybe it didn't. I like the way the crosshairs turns red to tell you're on target. That's quite nice. I mean, I definitely didn't have a joystick on my version. I did have a joystick for my Spectrum, but I didn't play Elite with a joystick. I always played that on the keyboard. I'm not sure the Spectrum version worked with a joystick either, but. Nick loves retro. I think this version was designed for the A3000. Only the later 3010 was one of the joystick. Okay, well, that's interesting. Let's see if I can. Oh, it's not too bad. I'm just trying to eyeball this Coriolis station as when you're coming in. I don't know. Very sensitive version. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it always looks really wobbly just before you get in. Oh, really? I'm starting to not like this game. It's so hard. It's brutal. Oh dear. You survive all that hassle, you just die docking. It is super brutal. I mean, even for Elite, it's brutal. And I know Elite inside out, right? So I know what I'm doing, and it's even then it's still brutal. It's like insanely difficult. This is like elite or absolute maximum difficulty mode. You're not entirely 100% lined up for your document either. You did. You want to jump through a corporate system. You think you're safe. No, you did. You see that moon? No, you did. That's how brutal this game is. It's just, oh, come on. Really? Yeah, you did. Amazing some of the pirates don't have energy bombs on board. And it just goes, boom, you died. I guess well, I mean, if one, I mean, I would be tempted, to be fair, if one of you can find, there is a save game editor for this. Or at least there was a save game editor for this version of Elite. But I had a look across, just out of idle curiosity, obviously, and at whether or not I could download it, and I couldn't find any links that still worked. There were references to it, and I tried the Wayback Archive Machine and places like that as well to see if I could find a working copy of the save game editor, and I struck out every single time. So if anybody knows, oh, there's a police ship going into the docking in front of me. That's just annoying. Okay, I'm just going to fly past him because I haven't got time to wait for the police. I don't know if docking at speed is better than not docking at speed, but anyway. Fingers crossed this time. Whoa, don't! What are you doing? Might be worth asking on the Stardock forum. Okay. I don't know if that police suddenly flew in front of me, and I said, right, let's. We've done this one again. Right, here we go. Now we've made some money. Let's equip the ship. There we go. Right, desktop. Save that game. Oh, stupid user interface. Save. There we go. There obviously isn't a way to edit your file here. At least I assume there isn't. It just tells me about the file preferences. Oh, I can have the mouse on or off. Yeah. Commander. It just tells me what I am. Okay, so I'm still clean. I'm still harmless because I haven't killed anything today. They've just killed me. It's just a matter of practice. It'll be fine. Right. Okay. So right, we've got 277 credits. We have saved the game. Where are we again? We are at DISA. So we need to buy food and stuffs. Right. And 1 ton of textiles because we bought fuel. So we're going back to Least D. There we go. Launch. So you don't know how difficult games were back in the day, you see. I mean, on the Spectrum version, actually, and I mean, the BBC had disk drive, didn't it, if you were posh. But the Commodore 64 owners, well, actually, some of the Commodore 64 people had disk drives. Of course, the Spectrum never had disk drives. So, if you wanted to save your position, you have to save it onto cassette. Oh my God! How did we survive? I think the Spectrum version was quite a bit easier, to be fair. So, yeah, but a few ships. Oh, there's more police ships doing their thing. Yeah, Spectrum version took me longer to get past the lens lock. Yeah, the lens lock. I don't know if I've told you that story. I've actually met the guy who invented the lens lock. He was at a convention I was at, something to do with Elite Dangerous, I think. Must be about 10 years ago now. Actually, he came up and said, "Hey, you Drew, you write the book for Elite Dangerous?" I said, "Yeah." He says, which version of Elite did you play it on?" I said, "Oh, I'm a Spectrum man." I said, "Oh, good, I said, what? He said, oh, I've only got a minor claim to fame on the Spectrum version. Oh, I said, what was that? He sort of put his head in his hands and said, I'm the guy who invented the lens lock. I said, oh my God, do you realise how many of us hate you? He said, yes, I do. He said, I'm still with Heidi to this day. He says, if you go on stream at any point in time, please, 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 just give my unconditional apologies to absolutely everybody. So yeah, that was a fun day. He's full of remorse. Yeah, I don't know what personal hell he's living in, but he sends us his unreserved apologies for the agonies we all went through, which seems appropriate. For those of you who don't know the lens lock, because I don't know which versions of Elite had it. The Spectrum version definitely did. No, I've got that up already. It basically was a little piece of transparent plastic that was effectively a prism, and you put it over your screen and it distorted the screen, and in such a way that basically if you started off with a distorted screen, it would actually clarify the screen. So the idea was that you put this distorted image on the screen, put this prism thing over it, and read out two letters which were effectively a copy protection code. So it was sort of like an early version of DRM really, with a little hardware thing. And of course, if your TV was exactly in the doorway, if your TV was exactly the right shape and exactly the right size, the thing would just about work. If your TV was anything other than exactly the same TV that the guy used to use this thing on, no hope in hell of reading this piece of text. So, of course, if you got the text wrong, I think you've got about 3 goes, and then the game would reload itself, and the computer would blank, and that'd be it. Which, of course, meant you had to rewind the cassette and load it again for another 5 minutes. So it was hated. Kazak says, there we are, the device became particularly associated with Elite on the ZX Spectrum simply due to the game's high sales volume. The device's unpopularity was so pronounced that when the 48K version of Elite failed to run on the 28K Spectrum, the lens lock system was removed from the patch version, despite not being the cause of the original issue. Those were the days. See, we all look back on it with fondness now, don't we? No, we don't. So, there we go. Right, we've survived that docking. How are we actually doing? We got up to 300. See, this first section of Elite takes a long time to get anywhere, doesn't it? I do remember this from all the other versions of Elite. It's quite dull at the start because you just have to do the safest possible trading run you can do in order to get any money at all. But we are slowly starting to turn a profit here. So let's save that again. No, I can't get used to this middle mouse button business. There we go. Yeah, the worst part is the software pirates had a better experience than the honest folks did, because it was relative. Herodine says it's a bit grindy. I'm glad we don't have to contend with that anymore. Now, isn't it refreshing that all modern space games have totally done away with the grind now? Hang on, is that my sarcasm detector? No, I must be mistaken. Right, okay. Launch. Let's go back to Dezo. I also brought Elite on the BBC and the C64 and Amiga, and none of them had lens lock. Now I think it was still in hell by that point, wasn't it? It was quite easy to poke out the lens lock on the Spectrum version because there was the old who remembers randomize user 0? Okay, so what you do is you'd because all Spectrum games basically had a little basic loader that then told the game to load the machine code. And so if you could stop the tape at the point where the basic loader had loaded and it was just waiting for the machine code, you could break into the program at that point, and then you could edit the loading file. And it would usually have a phrase like randomize user something something something, which basically told the Spectrum to go to that address space and start running the machine code from there. So if you deleted that line from the loader, when your Spectrum finished loading the machine code from the tape, it wouldn't do anything, it would just sit there. And so what you could then do, if you were savvy, was you could poke different addresses into the Spectrum's memory and you could disable the lens lock. That's how I did it, following instructions from probably something like Your Sinclair or Crash Magazine. Those are the days. You could give yourself extra lives, and you could do all sorts of stuff. Fun times. Of course, of this era, I don't think you can do that sort of stuff. You don't have the same, even by this point on 16-bit era, you don't have the same access to the computer's memory that you had in those sort of 8-bit days. The version I had on the ST just asked for a word from the manual. Yeah, that was a more common sort of piracy thing. Woo, police appeared right on top of me there. So yeah, custom loaders on the Spectrum. That was fun times. And I imagine that most of the other 8-bit computers did similar things as well. So you could just intercept the loader and then peek and poke your way out of trouble. Okay, we got to the space station without too much trouble, which is good. So yeah, so this early part of Elite is a bit. I maybe wonder, because there's quite a lot of people who go, I could never get on with Elite. It took a bit of perseverance, because it takes you a while to get enough money to be able to do anything at all in this game, because it is, it's slow at the start. It takes a while for you to build up enough capital to actually afford to buy a decent amount of cargo. And then once you get beyond a certain point, making money is trivial, of course, because you've already got money. It's kind of like real life, to be honest. Yeah. If you're poor, you're poor. If you've got some money, it's easy to make some more money. And I suppose, given that Elite was the sort of capitalist game of the 1980s, I suppose it sort of makes sense. Yes, because this is, of course, it's interesting. I don't think David Braben and Ian Bell deliberately did this, but of course, Elite was in the UK. Elite was a game that came out in the sort of Maggie Thatcher era of the UK, corporate UK, where greed was good and money was everything. Yeah, it makes you wonder whether there was whether they were subconsciously influenced by that or not. They say they weren't, but it's difficult to separate yourself from the zeitgeist of the time. Yeah, unlike today, where everything. The look at that. Does that look correct to you? No, I'm not convinced. This game is teaching me that unless I'm absolutely certain I'm going into that docking bay straight, that's really, whoa! I don't. Oh, see, look, he literally just flew at me. I could do nothing about that. Yeah, okay. It is. Oh, it's so brutal, this game. Ah! You do all that work and then you don't make it. It's just mean. Stop being so mean. Alright, back to these. Inventory. Yeah. Yeah, so if anyone can find me a hex editor or whatever it is you edit the game. I know it's ironically it is. It's easier to dock. I mean, I never had problems docking in Elite Dangerous, whereas this, and I never really had problems docking the Spectrum version. But I think the Spectrum version didn't do quite so many checks on your alignment as this one does. This one is particularly difficult. I don't like the look of all those guys. Oh, they seem to be buzzing off. That's right. More police doing their thing. My officers. Yeah, and you can only save in the station. Yeah, you can't save out here. There's no user interface for save out here, so it can only save in the space station, which I think again is common to all versions of Elite. I think you can only save in the space station unless you obviously get your emulator to do a snapshot. I hadn't thought about that. Does this emulator allow me to do snapshots? No, it's not that I can easily see. So there we go, there's another issue. A harmless trader. Maybe these safer systems just have more police, not necessarily fewer pirates. Yeah, maybe that's the thing, maybe that's how it works. I just wish they had easier space stations. I like the way they turn into little coloured dots like that. That's quite nice. Can you copy files to and from your PC? I don't know how easy it is to get the file out, because I have to load the floppy disk as an ADF file, which contains I assume it contains the image of the floppy disk itself, and then the emulator is reading the ADF file, which is it then shows as the internal copy. So I can't see. All I can see on the PC is the ADF file. I can't see the contents of it, if that makes sense. So I don't know how I'm going to get a. I think the only way to do it is to get the emulator, or get the save editor, if I can find it, onto another ADF image and load that into the emulator, and then copy it across between, presumably what effectively is two mounted floppy disk drives. Does that make sense? That's got to make sense. I don't want to be sober. Doesn't look too bad. What ship is that? That almost looks like a Cobra, but it's not, is it? Look, they are trying to line up for docking. That's quite cool. If I slot behind him. Yeah, the engine's nice as well. Okay, so I'm following him in. Yeah, look, that's interesting. I've never seen another ship dock in a version of Elite. That was quite cool. He actually got in. So will I? Oh, really? It's lined up. Oh my god! How much do I hate this game? I am not having a good time. What is it with DSO today? I love this game. It's endless amusement for you guys. Okay, well that's good. Philip, hello. How are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Thank you very much for popping in. We are playing Archimedes Elite. We are not doing very well, as you can see. But that cheered me up. Thanks, Philip. The most brutal version of Elite I think I've ever come across. God, it seems to be putting me further and further away from the planet every single time. I know it's gonna. Now it's chucking pirates at me. Thank you very much. This is only 2 of them. Right, let's get a missile lock because sometimes they'll chuck a missile at me. Oh, here come the police. So maybe if you can survive long enough, the police... Yeah, look, the police are fighting on my behalf. That is neat. I like that. So it's like system... Yeah, they got him. Nice work. That is pretty cool, to be fair, isn't it? Yeah, look, the police have dealt with the pirates. Thanks, boys. How about that? An effective police force in a computer game. That's actually really good. You stole my kill, yeah, fair, but I'm still alive, which in this game is an achievement. Baron says, is there a save state function in the emulator? Yeah, I've had a look. I don't think there is. I've not been able to find one. Unless anybody knows Arculator. Well, there doesn't seem to be a menu option for it, unless there's like a hotkey or something. If only the police could land me as well. The emergency boost to avoid a ship. Yeah. First time chat from Jix85. Pew pew. Yes. Yeah. We're trying to do some pew pew. We've got at the moment we've got a rubber ship. I've never seen useful police in any version of it. No, this is a pleasant surprise. There are some really nice things to this game. I just wish the docking wasn't so brutal. I think in the Amiga version of Elite, I managed to kite a Thargoid to a space station. The police vipers opened fire on me instead. Yeah, totally lost faith in the fuzz. Oh dear. Right, we're at the space station again. Can I dock this time? Can I, heck? So difficult, this docking. Oh, there we are. Commander Buffo, several save file editors for Archimedes Elite. Oh, good man, good man. Don't condone cheating. So if there's any children watching this stream, this is don't you never cheat on video games. It's a bad thing. Never do that. I'll have a look at that link in a bit. Commander Buffo. Several save file editors for Archimedes Elite here. Okay, so we'll have we might, just for the sake of expediency, because I mean I think we're all experiencing the impact of Elite here. My fading skills as an aging Gen X gamer, trying to get this to work. Right, that looks pretty. That looks okay to me. Right, here we go again. Right. So because as you approach, you lose all frame of reference, other than this massive rectangle. Did it that time. There we go. Any cheating you do in the privacy of your own solo game is fine. Yeah. So let's sell all that stuff. So I think you've seen. Oh, no, I've got nearly 400 credits. I mean, come on, give me a break, right? If one of these works, and we can have a little play and see what the save editing is like, just out of morbid curiosity. Right, so let's save our position in case we bugger something up. Oh, middle mouse button. Because hacking the same game file is not something we did back in the 80s at all. Right, so let me just have a look. What's Buffo sent me here? It's not that I'm sort of here. All I really want to do at this point, to be honest, is give myself some money, because I mean we're making money, but it's just super slow, isn't it? Right, so what does it say here? Is Elite here? Arc, is it called Arc Elite, or just is it just Elite? It's quite a lot of games. I didn't realise there were so many games for the Archimedes. Well done, Buffo, for finding some stuff anyway. D, I've got down to D. E, here we go. E-type. Elite! Right, so that's the actual game. There's a modified version. Which version? Which version of Elite are we actually running here? We are running version 1.14. Okay, that seems to be the later version, according to this. Okay, that's good. Cheat modules for different versions from Doggy Soft Hacker app. Oh dear. Right, so Elite Cheat, save file editor. Elite Cheat, save file editor. Right, okay. Let's try one of those. I'm going to download that. That gives me. This is very dodgy. Fortunately, I've got a good virus check on my PC. That's given me a zip file. Let's unzip that. Open. Let's decompress to. Where's my extract? There we go. Okay, I'll just. What does it do? Okay, that's just given me a elite.cht file of some kind, which says 0 kilobytes. That doesn't sound like it's actually done anything. No, so that's not worked, whatever that is. So that's. I don't know what it's actually given me. Hang on, those are. Yeah, those are. Okay, so hang on a minute. Can I drag and drop that into my Archimedes editor somehow? Host file system. I wonder if I can get into. Will that allow me to? See, I don't know what to do with this file. This is the other problem. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Okay. So I've got a host file system. Is that something I can actually use? This is tricky to know how this actually works. Yeah, that's why I was thinking that. Yeah, you're quite right. Where articulated is, but I'm not. Host FS is there. Okay, right. So let's put that in there. Does that mean I can see? Do I have to restart the emulator maybe? I've got a feeling I have to restart the emulator, so let's quit out. We did save that, didn't we? So let's save that. See if this is basically hacking the computer live. Let me kill the emulator for a moment. Let's reload the emulator, see if it picks up the file that I've just dropped in the host system or not. Here we go. We're rebooting the Archimedes now. There's the host file system. We've got a file there, but it doesn't know how to read it. So I've got a finger there, therefore I need to somehow unzip it here. But when I unzip it, it does. Let's try it with WinRAR. Extract files. Just do it. There we go. There we go. Right, let's get rid of the zip file out of curiosity. Let's just rename that to cheat to make that a bit easier. There we go. Ooh, okay, now we've got something that looks like it might be useful. Let me just kill the editor again. Yeah, I'll hit the emulator again and then see if it will restart. That's quite fun hacking old systems, isn't it? Right, we're going to reboot it now. Let's see if it works. The worst thing I've put is put a virus on my Archimedes emulator. Right, okay, so hostfs, we now have, we have Elite cheat. Okay, that's just a file. What does that mean? It says Elite cheat directory, icon sprites. That looks to be just a description file. How do I need to make this window bigger. Doesn't seem to be anything else in that directory there. It just seems to be a... That is just literally a text file explaining what to do. Or is that a basic program I need to run? Or do I, yeah, or do I have to... I don't know. I don't know how the Archimedes works. That is saying basic options. Yeah, so does anybody know how Archimedes works? Run image. That looks to me like some sort of batch file. It does under the green egg, so okay. What do we do down there? Okay, let's click on the green egg. Okay, so new task, commands task window, commands. Oh, that's given me a I guess a command prompt. So what do I do now? Is there anything like DOS here? No. List. Okay. Syntax list. It's ls. No, that's Unix. What would it be? I don't know how to get out of it either. Now I'm in this mode. Help! No help found. Help! Help! Oh, there we go. Right. Help commands. Okay. This is like one of those dodgy adventures. No, this is a retro experience. Yeah, good for you, Mr. Ray Ray. I think that was actually quite useful. I can list. Okay, so I can. Oh, now it seems to have died a death on me. It's not responding. I'm going to have to kill the emulator, I think, and start again. So I've never ever used. If this was an early PC, I'd be all right. It would be quicker just play the game, but we're committed now. As we've got the, what do we just don't know what to do with it. This is, so what does that? just looking in the host FS system. There are some files in there. There's a README file which I can't see. Let's see if I can open it in Notepad. Ah, right, okay. I found the... Right, okay, I found the instructions. Elite Cheat is very simple to use. Is it really? Once loaded, click on the icon bar to open the main editing window. To load a commander, simply drag it to the icon or into one of the windows. Oh, hang on. Okay, well, let's fire up the emulator and see if we can follow these instructions. Okay. Right. Elite Cheat is very simple to use. Once loaded, right, so let's load it. At least we think we've loaded it. Right. That implies it's loaded. I think. I don't know. To load, right, once loaded, click on the icon bar icon to open the main editing window. Is that reading the instructions is cheating. To load a command, simply drag it to the icon or into one of the windows. Right, so we've got to try and let's load Elite into the floppy drive. Right, so let's start with Jameson because we don't need... Right, to load a command, simply drag it to the icon. Done that? Okay, that's just showing junk. Or do we... Oh, hang on a minute, I got a feeling on it. Maybe we don't double click that. Maybe we drag that to that. Oh, that's just loading Elite, isn't it? I think. What? That just load Elite? Yeah, that's just load Elite. That's not it. So I don't think it's loading. Or maybe we need to do something. App Elite Cheat. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is the problem. I think Elite Cheat's supposed to appear in the taskbar. Yeah, I think that's what's supposed to, but it seems to be opening up an editor, not... See, it's doing that. That looks to me like it's a batch file. So, okay, let's try another one then, because maybe that file didn't unzip correctly. Who knows, eh? No, that didn't work either. This is a nightmare. In Windows, yeah, that's what it feels like, doesn't it? It feels like it's not got the right extension. See that? It looks correct. I think the pling. Well, it's difficult to explain. I don't really. Oh, hang on a minute. I've put a copy of this module, interface module. So maybe this interface, hang on, maybe this interface module is supposed to be somewhere else. Let's put that into the system directory. Where would that be? I've got a feeling that maybe in here. See the problem. The problem is this README file is designed for a real Archimedes, not for not for an emulator. So it's like no idea. Let's try that again. Because I think what's happening here is it's expecting an interface module, which it doesn't have. So if we can't get this working here, we're just going to have to go back and keep playing the game. This is a problem I found. The amount of support that's still out there for the Archimedes seems very, very small now. I'm trying to find out places where you can actually get information from. No, so it's just this is showing it's not loading the file, it's loading the batch file, it's not running it. Open parent? No, that doesn't help. Display. Application rename, delete access, count info, find. I just want to execute it. It doesn't. Yeah. What the hell? See, that's opening up a word like a notepaddy type thing. Not the actual application, which is odd because it kind of ought to really. Unless we can, let's just do what? Let's mount the floppy disk drive again. What I could really do with is an ADF. What file did I download? No, it was a zip file. Let me just have a look at the web page again, in case there's anything else on there that's useful to download. The one I downloaded was Elite Cheat 108. There are Elite Cheat modules there, so what else is there here? Okay, that's the Doggy Soft hacker. Let's have a look at that one. Because this one isn't working for us for whatever reason. And see, that just says it's invalid. Is that because it's not WinRAR? No, WinRAR can't open it either. So that's sort of implying it's dead. Elite Hack, save file editor. Let's try that one. Just randomly trying to open one now. See, these, it just says these archives are corrupted, which is a bit of a shame. So whilst the link unfortunately, oh hang on, that one did work. What does it do? Anything useful? Okay, this one might be useful. Let's try. Okay, I've got another one. Let's see. This is the last one. This one doesn't work. We're hosed. Yes, So it's just total unfamiliarity with this computer. I don't know how to use it at all. Right, here we go. We're starting up again. This time we should have another. Yeah, so there's multiple different versions of the Archimedes as well. Right, that should now contain another file. So there we go. Oh, look. Okay, does it do anything there? No, see, both of these, we're missing something here, because either this emulator doesn't have some of the functionality, because it's just opening a. It's opening some sort of batch file. I don't know how to see. I don't know how to change directory in this command window. So I want to be able to go cd cheat. It doesn't know cd. If I just do cheat, it doesn't know that. It doesn't know that either. So I don't know how to do it. It's not there. It doesn't. Cat was a command list file. Ah, okay. So, okay. So there we go. So okay. So cat lists the files. Where are we at the moment? System. That means we're in the floppy drive at the moment. Commander buffer. So, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. We are experimenting. So we're looking at the floppy drive here. So how do we tell it to look at the host FS drive? I wonder. I don't know. See, I just don't know the operating system. I might have to see if I can keep playing with this offline. I don't even have to get out of this. It doesn't. Exit doesn't work. Quit doesn't work. I can't think of anything else to try. Oh no, the quit did work. Oh, there we go. So what I want to be able to do is, hang on a minute. Okay, I've had an idea. Let's copy the cheat folder to the floppy disk drive. There it goes. It's doing that. Well, glorious floppy disk sounds. Might that allow it to run? Maybe you can't run things from the host FS drive. It was a good guess, but it was wrong. But from here, we might be able to use the command line. It's worth a try. So if I go into the command line now and do cat, right, there's cheat and it says it's a directory, right? How do I change directory on an Archimedes? How do I change directory? Cat is to list it. Come on, Aerodine. Aerodine knows the Archimedes. How do I change directory on Archimedes? Because I don't know anything about this computer at all. DR and then the name. Right, so DR and then cheat. Yes! Cat. Right, we're now in that directory. Right, Elite cheat is a directory. So dir elite cheat. This is like. Right, we're now in the folder for it. So so now how do we run the file? Do we just do pling run? Or just run hash? That's what I type, hash run. But I think looking at that, it's run and then run image. Is that? Well, it wasn't that. I have run out of talent as far as this goes now. Well, some stuff happened on the screen. It did something. What does the file say? Run. File name parameters. Okay, well that makes sense. I don't understand this. Right, set elite directory. Icon sprites are there. So let's just try and do what it's actually. Is that a dot? Oh, icon sprites, come on, not found. No. Ah! It's going well. Right, hang on a minute. Okay, cat. Right. Directory. Oh no, we're still in the same place. Okay. There is a readme file. Yeah, that we have read that readme file, but it doesn't help. So hang on, run. Just now that lists that file, so that tells you what it's actually trying to do, and it says run, and then it is pling run image. That does the thing, but it's not doing. I think that might be working, but there's a missing file or something. So I think the file is just like a desktop file. Yeah, so I think we might be. I'm gonna have to do a bit more Quit sometimes seems to work, but doesn't. I think it's supposed to allow you to edit the save file, but I don't know. I think it looks to me like a script. It's expecting to. It did say something in the README file about the interface file being needed to be loaded, but I don't know where to put that. So now I can't quit. Good off. Sage Gandalf. Oh, I can't get out of the answer. Right. Anyway, well, there was an entirely fruitless sojourn into attempting to hack the Acorn Archimedes version of Elite, which was stymied by us not being able to get that save game hacking thing actually working. I think I'm going to spend a bit more time with that because I've got a feeling. Basically, the save game editor needs some interface file in the source directory of the Acorn Archimedes, but it assumes that you can get to that, which you might not be able to via the editor, via the emulator. So I might try and go a little bit further with that, but for the time being, I think we'll quickly go back to old Commander Squirrel and just do another milk run. Oh dear. Well, stuff happened, right? Did we learn? I don't think we learned. I don't think we learned anything, but we tried to do something. Well, we're at DSO. We've got to go equip trade. Right. We're going to do the same old thing. Oh, look, food looks nice and cheap today. Actually, looking at that, furs are quite cheap. That's here, aren't they? So maybe we can do the fur run instead. There we go, 6 tons of furs and 14 tons of food. We don't need any of that. Let's go back to leasty. We bought the first 56. So let's see if leasty's any better. Commander Buffer's found another one. Okay, let's... I'll do that one offline. I think that one is the one I looked for before. And when I tried to download it, it just gives you nonsense. So I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. But maybe you're supposed to save it as a... Oh, I just died because I wasn't paying attention. Maybe it's just supposed to be a nothing file. Okay, hang on. Since I just died, we'll try the third one. Let's try the hack file one more time. Because this one's allowed, but it doesn't have a file extension. So both of these just look like... I'm just going to try and save the link as text and then rename them so they haven't got a file extension at all, and then see if they'll go into, if you like, the host fs file place. Then we'll relaunch the... See, I don't know what you're supposed to do with these. Because I think they're supposed to have an executable. I wonder if they're supposed to be zip files. Let me just rename one to zip. Don't have to do this. Oh, it's not move. What is it? Rename. Wrong operating system again. Right, there we go. Is that actually... No, see, it's not... It isn't. It's not a zip file, so I don't know what to do with that download. That one just says forbidden. Okay, hang on a minute. So Commander Buffer says Python script, use a Python script for modern systems file and start from place the script and save file in the same folder. Jesus, this is complicated. Okay, I'm not even signed in on Stardot. Okay, so I need to go and have a look at that one then. I'm going to have to sign into their Stardot forum to even have a go at that. So, okay, I'll look that one up in a bit. Well, let's just... Where's me? There we go. I've just renamed those to files that don't have any file extensions at all. Let's see what the emulator makes of them, if anything. Played the game was taking a breakfast. Is that the file where it says unpack the archive and they're using Spark? But I don't even know what Sparkplug is. Trying to get vintage computers to do stuff. No, the dog is tired out today. Poor old doggus. Right, so that. No, so that's just tantalising. It's just giving us space, but it's not telling us what the heck that is. That doesn't look like an executable. Military lasers all round. Large plasma accelerator. Instant hyper mega hard shields. All sorts of tantalising stuff in there, but it doesn't actually do anything. I love all computers. Slow, slightly frustrating. And they're all just opening. Yeah, so I don't know, my friends. Right, tell you what, we'll do one more milk run because I feel I owe it to you. Watch me try and cheat with absolutely zero success. Let's just try that fur run, see if that actually works. You can't get more retro than this. No, this is very true. Right. Let's load command screw it up. I'll have another go during the week and see if I can break into it a bit more because I think it might be helpful. I thought that might be quite easy, but clearly trying to debug an ancient operating system which I'm totally unfamiliar with. Oh, I've run out of memory because we've got 3 word processors. Sorry, my poor little Archimedes running out of RAM. You don't think of things like that, do you? Hey, there we go, there's enough memory left. Right, okay. Right, we're going to get some furs, won't we? 6 tons of furs, I think it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're out of money. Fill up the rest of the food with that. We're going to launch. Drag Elite cheat to the game directory window. I don't know. I'll try any and all possibilities. Given the time, let's just do this because we're alas. We're nearing the end of what has been a very exciting stream. Everton Dun Dragon says, not sure the Archimedes is worth £100. Yeah. Oh. Oh, it's got the damping was off. There we go. Engage. Now we bought the furs for. Oh, we got to the space station nice and easily. That was good. We bought the furs for 56. What do they sell for here? Will it tell us? Is there a price view? Here we go. Furs are here. 78. Oh, that's actually quite a good deal. Okay, so we can make some money then. This way by furs in one direction and computers in the other. So that's worth knowing. We'll remember that for next week if I can't hack the file, which is looking increasingly likely that I can't. I'm on holiday at the moment. I have access to my old computer I used in my youth. It's a 1.75 megahertz and Z80 clone. Wow. God, that's very slow. What computer was that? Even my Spectrum was 3.5 megahertz, I think. So yeah, 1.75 megahertz is very old school. Oh, that's running at full speed. Well, let's get it roughly right, and then go back to the planet again. Let's see if I can get this final docking looking half decent. Oh, there's another ship helping me, handily helping me line up the docking slot. That's interesting. Like you say, I've never seen ships docking before with Elite. There we go. He docked successfully. Will we dock successfully? Yes! Yay! your final document. Oh, hang on a minute. What happened there? Look, my legal status is offender. What happened there? It's probably because I was trying to hack the save file, right? The game's gone, you didn't say the magic word. I don't know. I don't remember shooting anything. It knows I tried to cheat. Exactly right. Computers. Oh, actually, that made us a reasonable amount of cash. Look, we've got 500 credits. That's not bad for an evening's work, kind of. Let's buy all the fuel. There we go. We'll buy the computers to go back the other direction. We've actually managed to buy 7 tons of computers. There we go. Then we'll save. But yeah, save. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. There we go. There we go. almost a large cargo bay. Yeah, but we need to have enough money to do. So I will persevere with the cheat mechanism. I think we're missing something about the thing. Let me quickly show you. I'll just. I think I can show you the. If I add in the. Where is it? HostFS. There it is. If I show you this README file, and you can read it with me because it's very exciting. We just add in a source window capture. Here we go. I don't think it would be anything I was capturing. There we go. Right. So this is what I was seeing on my screen. This is the README file from the cheat program that we downloaded. So thanks to that buffo. So this all looks correct here, and it says here, look, Elite. But this bit here I think is the thing. Versions 1.06 and upwards use Simon Huntington's excellent interface module. Okay, this is assumed to be in your system directory. I have put a copy of the module in the Elite directory in case you don't already have it. This should be deleted or moved to your system directory. Where is the system directory? So I'm just gonna. I know this is bad because I hate things not working. Where might the system directory be? Let's just have another look. I'm just going to switch off that one for a moment. Right. Okay, so it can't be in there. That just says resources apps, so that's not the system directory. Where would the system directory be? Can I ask ChatGPT? I configure that. Well, that feels to me that seems to be control panel. Yeah, the problem is I don't know how to swap disks in the. Let me just have a quick Google. Where is the system directory on the Acorn Archimedes? I don't know what he's talking about. Right, on the Acorn Archimedes, the system directory identified by the application directory name pling system is typically located within the boot folder. So where is that? Because that's apps. It doesn't have a drive. Yeah, Pling System Inquisitive Spirit sounds. Open the RISC-OS filer, the graphical file manager, which is what I think we were in. But we are in the root. Let's see, I think we are. So none of these, because I don't think it's it's not booting from the floppy, is it? That's just the Elite disk. Oh, hang on, no, there's a system file there. Except I can't open it. I can't get into this to unless we can go into the. Oh, I don't know. This could be just be a bit. This could just be yet another rabbit warren. Let's just. Yeah, that's the one you saw. Okay. Right, hang on. Cat. We are. What I need to do is. No, it's not CD. What was it? Directory cheat. Cat. Directory cat. Oh, hang on. Directory sends you back to the bottom. Okay, that's annoying. Cat. Right there. See that interface file there? I need to move that. Think. So that interface file has been provided for us by the owner of the README. Going back to here for a moment. See this bit here. Interface module. This is assumed to be in your system directory. I put a copy of the module in the Elite directory in case you don't already have it. This should be deleted or moved to your system directory. We've got to figure out how to move that file to the yeah. There is a pling help. There is a pling help. You're quite right. Please read the README file in this directory for information. That's a very helpful file. Right, it's sorry, you're not even seeing this on the screen. Hang on a bit. Oh dear, there we go, right. Can you hold shift and double click the system? I don't know. I think I'll get back out of this interface now. Oh, there we go. Right, okay, I'm back out. Right, what were you saying? Okay. Can you hold shift and double click on iSystem? Oh, I can. Oh, yeah, that worked. Well done. What did you do there? Does that mean I can get into this one? Oh, well done. Okay, hang on. Right. Now what? Well done, Top Shot. If you're reading this README, you will read this review. Okay, we've got a bit further. So what? These are all okay. So those are all text files. So what do we do? That is system. So do we drag that into there? Okay, that did work. Now what? Do we go back up? No, it's still not doing anything. Because these don't seem to be executables. All these files seem to just be there is a readme file there, that readme file. So that's the same readme file as I've been reading on the screen. There, that's the same readme files we've been seeing on in WordPad. But it doesn't run it. So I don't know. Probably got a bit further. Or does it need to go into modules? Well, I can put it in modules. Or maybe I can't. I don't know how you delete something. How do you delete something? Oh, there we go, delete. Okay, let's try it again and put that one in there. No, that didn't work. Doesn't like that. Well, not see this file just. It doesn't seem to. Yeah, I think it's supposed to think that's an executable. For some reason, it doesn't think it's an executable. That's the bit that doesn't make any sense. No, it's not an intuitive interface, is it? File, run image. Set type as text. I wonder if I can tell it it's not a text file. I've no idea what I'm doing. I am literally just guessing. Right, well, in the week I'm going to give that a whirl because I feel that there might be a vague possibility that I might be able to get that work, but who knows, eh? ChatGPT claims it might need to be in modules, but it might not be so simple. Anyway, right. Anyway, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that retro 60-bit hackfest there. So not only is Elite on the Archimedes insanely difficult, but trying to figure out how the Archimedes actually works is also insanely difficult. And trying to hack your Elite save file is also insanely difficult. So I think we can summarise our experience of using the Acorn Archimedes as insanely difficult. I wonder why the Acorn Archimedes never caught on. It's hard to cheat than it is to play. You could dodge the bullet on Acorn Archimedes. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Young people today, they just don't know what they know. No, indeed. I know, I do. So, anyway, if there is anybody out there who's watching this stream thinking, why didn't they just press the XYZ or type the so-and-so command? We could really do with the help. Please join us on stream and guide us through. Guide us through using this arcane and insane computer. And spare us. Otherwise we're going to have to slog it out between Listy and Dize with furs and computers for another few weeks before we can do anything decent. Dear, oh dear. Right, anyway, my friends, it's time for me to depart because I can't cope with it any longer. It was still fun. That's the main thing, I suppose. Right, my friends, be good. Take it easy. And we'll probably play some Elite Dangerous on Wednesday, and that'll probably be surprisingly easy. By comparison. Anyway, take it easy, be good. Well, Commanders, hope you have fun. See you soon.